500 days. When was the last time you did something for 500 consecutive days? Now, I'm not talking about brushing your teeth. I hope you're brushing your teeth daily. I'm not talking about getting on your phone, checking email or social media, or drinking your favorite coffee. What I'm talking about is your passion, maybe even your calling. For me, that is giving. I gave a gift every day for 522 consecutive days, and that journey changed my life. Now, unfortunately, on day 523, I was on a business trip. I was in an office all day, went out for a late dinner, came back to the hotel. I was working on my laptop, and I looked down and I saw the time, and I yelled, "Oh no, I didn't give a gift for the day." It was 12:18 a.m. I was with my boss, and she was trying to make me feel better, and she said, "Well, you were kind to the waiter this evening." And I said, yeah, I was kind, but my journey wasn't about being kind. It was about being intentional. It was about looking for one time each day, me as one person, an opportunity to give to somebody else. Now, I took a little break from that journey, and I've been giving a gift every day for years. So what was my definition of a gift? It was simple. It was to give something and expect nothing in return. At the very basic level, I could say, I'm going to smile at every stranger I pass today and not expect them to smile back. I could send a wedding gift and not expect that handwritten thank you note. So, what were some of the gifts that I gave on this journey? Well, my husband's an Indiana State Trooper, and we've lost 3 friends killed in the line of duty. Scott Patrick, Gary Dudley, and Bruce Sutton. And so over those 522 days, I wrote letters to families of every law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty. On a random day, I gave chocolates to the UPS man. I bailed a friend out of jail, and I baked and decorated cupcakes for the boys next door. You see, what I learned is that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of ways to give. And some of the most impactful gifts I gave took little time, little money, and were to strangers. Now, if you want to go on your own gift-giving journey, there's 3 things you have to do. Number 1 is you have to wake up in the morning and say, I am going to give a gift today. Number 2 is you have to look for the opportunities. I never saw the opportunities that I wasn't looking for. And then number 3, and this is the most challenging, is when you see that opportunity, you have to initiate action. You have to see it and then go help somebody in need or go give to that person. Now, I'll give you an example of this. I don't know about you, but if you travel, you can spot a non-traveler a mile away. I was taking a bus from Indiana to Chicago, and when I got off the bus, I noticed this younger mother. She had a baby strapped to her, all this luggage and baby stuff, and I could tell that she needed help. So I approached her. Again, I got up that morning and I said I was going to give a gift. I saw an opportunity and I took action. I approached her and I said, "May I help you?" And she said yes. So I walked her in, got her to where she can check in her luggage, and we parted ways. Yet after I checked in my luggage, I noticed she still kind of looked confused. Like, what way do I even go to security or to my gate? So I reapproached her. Now this time I was thinking, please don't let there be drugs in her bags. If I'm going to be handling her bags, what do they tell you when you go to the airport over the intercom? Don't touch other people's bags. And so I approach her and I say, "Can I help you?" And she says, "Are you a human trafficker?" At this point, I had to laugh because here I thought maybe she'd be a drug dealer, and she thought I was a human trafficker. And I said, "No, I'm not a human trafficker." And she said, "Okay, I'm so sorry. I just saw a story about that on the news." Well, we got through security safely. She had no drugs in her bag. I had a little bit of extra time, and so I walked her to the gate. She was flying standby, and so I took her up to the gate agent, and the gate agent asked her, "Who is this?" And without missing a beat, she said, "This is my angel, and I love her." Wow. I got her to the seat. We embraced hugs. We never even exchanged contact information. But as I was walking to my gate, I thought, I'm sure that gift impacted her, but it impacted me also. Now you might say, "Stephanie, anybody who saw somebody else in need in an airport would help them." But would they? Another time I was in one of those airports that have those white rocking chairs. Those are my favorite. So I was sitting in a rocking chair, I was rocking and reading, and I noticed this lady sobbing in an airport. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I see a person in need, I start having this internal conversation, this internal debate with myself of, what if I approach them and they reject me? What if they get mad? What if they don't see that I'm trying to help them? All these questions start going through my head. And then I realize I'm making helping somebody about me. So I got up enough nerve and I walked over to her and I asked her if she was okay. She said she wasn't. She explained her story and really there was nothing I could do to help her. But she said, "Ma'am, thank you." I walked back to my rocking chair and I sit there and I watched hundreds, if not thousands of people before and after I approached this young lady walk past a lady in the airport sobbing, and not one person offered to help her. It was time for me to board my flight. I got up and as I was walking to my gate, she again yelled, "Ma'am, thank you." You see, don't always expect someone else to help. Now, I am not perfect and I have missed countless of opportunities to give. For example, I was at the Dairy Queen one day. I had placed my order and as I was waiting for my order, the guy behind the counter uttered, "I hate my life." This was my opportunity to say something encouraging, something inspiring. And yet I said nothing. I stood there awkwardly acting as if I heard nothing. When he brought my order, I grabbed it, I walked out the door, I got in my car, and you know how I know I missed an opportunity to give? Is because all the way home, all I could think about was that young man and those words that he said, those powerful words, "I hate my life." When I got home, I went on social media, Facebook, I turned on Facebook Live and I confessed to all my followers the opportunity that I missed. And I said what I should have said to that young man. And that is something like this, is don't hate your life. Today may be a really bad day, but it will get better. I've been where you are. I used to work at the Dairy Queen and I love that job. That job taught me so many lessons. It taught me about hard work for little money. It taught me about customer service and people skills and making people happy through ice cream. I've been very successful in life and I can attribute some of my success to the skills and the lessons that I learned working at the Dairy Queen. So today when I come across opportunities to give and I'm scared or I'm hesitant, I think back to that young man at the Dairy Queen. One day, I put out on social media a challenge, and it was to give hugs to strangers. And I have one rule when you give hugs to strangers, and that is you don't just run up to them and give them a big bear hug. It's probably not going to be the best thing. Is I walk up to them and I ask their permission. May I give you a hug? And so I put out on social media that I was going to a Michigan football game, go blue, and I was going to hug strangers at the game. Now, if you know anything about the Big House, you know that the Big House seats over 100,000 people. So I'm going to assume that the people that are tailgating, there's over 100,000 people tailgating. My husband and I parked the car, and as we're walking out of a grassy parking lot, there was a man standing, an older gentleman. He had a black hat with yellow writing. And I assumed that he had served in our military. And one of the gifts that I loved to give was to walk up to those that I thought had served and ask them, "Have you served in the military?" And that's what I did to this young man. I walked up and I said, "Did you serve in the military?" He said, "Yes." I extended my hand and I just said, "Thank you." And I got this little tug on my heartstrings, something that had happened to me many times over my giving journey. And I said, "May I give you a hug?" He hesitated. It happens every time. People are like, "Okay, you want to give me a hug?" But then he said yes. And as we were embracing, he whispered, "I needed that today." Wow. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. The one person, the first person that I felt, honestly, I felt God led me to that person to give them a hug needed it. Needed a simple hug. I went on to hug a ticket scalper, a police officer who did not want to give me a hug, and 2 ladies standing in line. I believe many times that we were put in the path of somebody, and it's our chance, our opportunity to make their day. For some reason, on that journey, I documented those 522 days. I wrote about them in a blog called One Making a Difference. It was a terrible blog. I hate writing and I hate grammar. But I had an inkling that if this journey could change my life, that it could change others. As a dyslexic, I went on to write a book, The Giving Challenge, because I thought if I could share some of my stories and challenge others to go out and to get outside of their comfort zone, that they could change their life and change the lives of others that they come across. And that's exactly what happened. I've heard over the course of years of people coming back to me of how they did things that were uncomfortable. They got out of their comfort zone, and there's some incredible stories. And so today, I'm not asking you to go on a 500-day giving journey, even though I know it would change your life. I'm just asking you to take the giving challenge, to take 40 days to commit to looking for ways and to initiating action to give to somebody else. Can you imagine if just the people that are listening to this talk took that challenge, how our world would change? Or what about just the people in this room? I'm going to do simple math. 1,000 people in the room times 40 gifts. In a little over a month, we would send 40,000 gifts out into the world. I have no doubt that if you go on this journey, you will find, I can almost guarantee, you will find a richer life by making a difference to people, one gift at a time. Thank you.